The killer's severed head. Dr. John paced the sterile floors of his underground lab, surrounded by faintly humming machines and the eerie glow of green-tinted screens. The centerpiece of his project sat on a pedestal under a glass dome, a severed head, grotesquely preserved and hauntingly intact. The head had belonged to Diogo Alves, a notorious serial killer from Lisbon, Portugal, who lived nearly 180 years ago. Alves, often referred to as the Aqueduct Killer, terrorized the city in the 1830s. His preferred hunting ground was the Águas Livres Aqueduct, a towering structure offering stunning views and a deadly drop. Over 4 years, Alves would rob and murder those who crossed it, tossing their bodies into the waters below to make the deaths appear as suicides. The aqueduct closed in 1837, but his killing spree didn't end. He and his gang turned to brutal home invasions, leaving a bloody trail in their wake. Alves was eventually caught and executed in 1841, but his story didn't end there. His head was severed after death and preserved in formaldehyde for scientific study, making him one of history's earliest preserved criminal specimens. Now, nearly 2 centuries later, his head had been relocated to Dr. John's lab, part of a controversial neurobiology experiment to detect posthumous brain activity. It was the government who had ordered it to be sent to his lab, and it was not something he had wanted to do. A large part of his annual budget was on the line, so he has little choice but to comply. John approached it cautiously, his eyes tracing the stitches along the neck and the pale, waxy skin. He shook his head, muttering to himself, "This is madness. What am I doing here?" He adjusted the sensors attached to the head's scalp and returned to his desk, poring over the live brainwave readings. The erratic spikes on the monitor baffled him. It was as though something was still active within the remains. That's when he heard it. "John." The voice was faint, gravelly, and undeniably human. The doctor froze, his pulse quickening. "John," it whispered again, louder this time. He turned slowly to face the head. The glass dome amplified the sound, making it seem as though the voice came from all around him. "Impossible," he stammered. "The vocal cords, the lungs, they're gone." The lips of the severed head twitched, the corner of its mouth curling into a sickening grin. "Oh, John, I don't need lungs to speak to you. My spirit is very much still alive in here." A sharp pain stabbed through John's temples, and he realized the voice was inside his mind. "You've worked so hard," it cooed, the tone both mocking and coaxing. "But haven't you wondered what it feels like to truly understand death? All it takes is one little cut, one injection of your own serum." He stumbled back, knocking over a tray of instruments. He clutched his head, trying to block out the insidious whispers. "No, you're just residual signals, a figment of, hallucination." The head's eyes snapped open, milky orbs locking onto his. "You've awakened me, John. Let me show you what I showed them." Images flooded his mind, of blood-soaked aqueduct stones, the glint of knives, and Alves's chilling laughter as he disposed of his victims. The whispers grew louder, morphing into screams. John's shaking hand reached for a scalpel on the floor. The whispers urged him, promising release, clarity, and an end to the torment. "Do it, John." The head hissed, its grin now a full, ghastly smile. With a final surge of willpower, he hurled the glass dome to the ground, shattering it. He grabbed the head and stabbed it with the scalpel, and then threw it into the incinerator, slamming the door shut. The lab filled with the smell of burning flesh and the faint sound of laughter, cold, cruel, and victorious. Even as the head was reduced to ashes, the whispers lingered in John's mind, a constant reminder that some evils transcend death, and some discoveries should never be made. Later, after finding a quiet place to sit and gather his composure, he started to feel better. The weird voice had stopped. He decided to go home and enjoy the weekend with his family. So he packed up his belongings and headed to the car park, where he jumped into his new Tesla. The drive was okay at first, until he noticed the traffic getting worse. "I hate this rush hour," he spoke, as he passed the city and approached the busy highway, which had been built upon the old aqueducts. That's when the voice returned. This time he felt the evil presence in his body. "Let's go for a ride, John," it said, laughing. The killer's spirit clenched the steering wheel tightly, and the car veered towards the opposite lane. A yellow school bus was approaching. With no control to stop this, his car rammed into the bus at high speed and exploded. The fire ripped through 3 more cars and some pedestrians. Over 80 people died, including the doctor, and Diogo Alves was satisfied to finally go to hell. He was taking a new bounty of fresh souls for the devil himself to devour. The end.